Hi students, welcome to today's lesson. Today we're going to sort of prove something that's congruent, most triangles mostly. Okay, so we're going to use something called a flow chart to justify our answer on why a triangle is congruent. All right, so that's what we're going to do today. We have 4 problems, I think. All right, before we get started, let's talk about a couple of definitions first, okay, that you might need to know, you will need to know moving forward, okay? First one is called vertical angles. Vertical angles are always congruent, okay? So we can use that definition, okay? So these are like rules and laws that you will need later on to prove something. It's sort of like if you're a lawyer, you need to know these things before you go to a judge and try to prove something, all right? All right, so anyway, vertical angles means that if 2 lines are crossed, that means the vertical angles are the same. Like for example, if this was 80 degrees, that is 80 degrees, okay? And that would be 100, that would be 100. All right, so these 2 are vertical angles, those 2 are vertical angles. And you will see them in different shapes and stuff like that, okay? Bisectors. Bisectors means that if there is a angle and the bisector, if it cuts this angle, okay? So this is the bisector here, all right? That means that these 2 angles are the same. All right, so for example, that'll be like 30 and 30 or something like that, okay? It also does that to the side. So again, this is the length here. So you want to cut these 2 lengths in half. So then that would be a bisector for the sides, okay? And then these 2 will be the same length. It could be like 10 inches or whatever, okay? So that's what a bisector means. So when something is a bisecting, that means it makes the angle, if it's an angle, 2 equal angles or 2 equal sides, all right? Now, if something has parallel lines, okay, and there's a transversal, then a couple of things will happen. Alternate interior will happen. This is a super important one. Okay, meaning that this angle here is congruent to this angle, okay? Or this angle right over here is congruent to this angle right there. All right, those 2 are the same and those 2 are the same. Again, they're called alternate interior. And again, be careful because you might see it in many different ways. Usually like in a rectangle or something like that, and make those 2 angles are the same, okay? Now, corresponding angles is actually pretty similar. Again, you have 2 parallel lines and there's a transversal. This angle right there is going to be the same angle as that one. That's called corresponding, okay? And same thing for like this one and this one. Those 2 are corresponding, like A and so forth. All right. Oops, my bad. This angle right there. Those 2 angles are corresponding. Okay. Reflexive. Reflexive just means that, again, if you share a side, that this side here is the same as this side for that triangle and the same as that side for that triangle. So that length right there, you split that up. So you're going to have 2 triangles like this, and that's reflexive because that's the same length. All right. All right, now not last one, but midpoint. Midpoint is sort of like if someone's saying, hey, that's the midpoint, and they always refer to a side. Okay, so hey, that's the midpoint between A and C, making those 2 lengths the same. All right, finally, perpendicular. Perpendicular just means that if there is a line that's perpendicular to the other line, it makes it a 90-degree angle. We don't know about the length though, we only focus on angle, and the angle is specific to 90 degrees.